Hi guys, thank you for being with me for this first episode. If you can first start by telling me your names and where you're from.
My name is Lasse, and I'm from a little village in mid-Europe.
My name is Jannis, and I'm also from Germany, which is Berlin, from the city Berlin.
And if you don't mind telling your age or more or less like age range for statistical reasons.
I'm 20.
I'm 19.
I told you a little bit about the concept of the podcast. Is to ask people, is there something that worries you about like the present, the future, what's coming? Did you see a problem at the global scale in the world?
Like, right now it's a question who always starts to say something, or is it just...
You may start. I think I would do like an impulse because I have to think about the question first. So you may start.
Okay. Yeah, I think I already thought about it when you asked me. So like there are a lot of topics actually which I could speak about, but right now I would like mainly talk about consumption of people and how the consumption is being or in how people consume more and more and how they can't stop because of certain things that you, for example, in the supermarket, that you always get bombarded with new stuff. You have to buy new stuff, and well, it's actually destroying our world, like all the consumption that's happening. And yeah, I could go further. I don't know if I should or not. It's like
I would like to talk about change when we are talking about things that worry me, because I think a lot of you people, a lot of people, I think mostly or nearly anyone knows some problems about the present, about the future. Almost everyone in the world knows about the climate change and also about consumption of a lot of things. And I think the biggest problem is not knowing about those things. The biggest problem is about changing yourself so that the things can also change. And the biggest thing that worries me at the moment is that people seem very incapable of changing, and that has a lot of different reasons. I think one of the most popular reasons is that there's like that you are always concentrated on stuff that is like very close, or that's very like an object or that's near to you or to your heart maybe as well, and that you can't like feel or concentrate, really think about things like the climate change. I mean, of some people the houses are burning down, but not your house is burning down, and therefore you don't change. And it's also something like far in the future. You know, in 50 years it could be pretty bad for a lot of people, but now it isn't, and therefore it's not like close to you, and therefore you don't have to change. And also I think that people get easily distracted all the time. I mean, when you look at the scale of those problems and how big they are, then you should talk about them like every day, at least an hour, and think about the solution. And you should come together. Everyone should come together and talk about it and think, can we do? What could we do? But because our societies and our society, the people, I think, are pretty separated, and they are all concerned about other things which are more relatable, things are closer to them, things which make more fun, like, I don't know, basketball games, or playing video games, or Instagram, or listening music, or cooking, or all the things that you can do, and they have like an almost immediate impact on your feelings.
Do you think changing has to hurt the like we are in a very comfortable society, I think? Do you think it's gonna hurt that Do you think we're living in some sort of bubble that the way we live is not sustainable, or is there a way to like keep what we have but do it in a better way?
I think in this moment, keeping what we have, sustaining the consumption that we have isn't possible. So if you ask if it's going to hurt, it probably is going to hurt. I think humans don't like to change at all, so changes almost always hurt people in one or the other kind. And yeah.
I would disagree. I wouldn't say that changes always hurt people. I think he always talked. He also talked about solutions and that we should think about solutions. I think what's important here is that, well, in our world there are a lot of specialists who are already specializing on topics of climate change or different topics. I mean, there are a lot of problems and a lot of people are already talking about it and already having solutions. And I don't think that everybody should always think about solutions, how we do something better, but we should listen more to people who know it, how to do it better, and in that way maybe change a thing. I don't think that we as a whole society, or that every normal guy who is living, I don't know, in some house in a big city can I don't know, think about every little problem that is happening on our world. That's just not gonna happen. Let's be honest. Like, nobody can do it. Nobody wants to do it. I mean, if you do it, you destroy yourself. And in that way, maybe, yeah, we should do it more, or the change that has to happen should happen more in a way of listening to people who know about it. And I think that's where it starts, listening to problems, seeing the problems, really recognizing the problems that the problems aren't just, I don't know, somewhere else, as he has told, not your house is burning, but not your house is burning, but the other house, but that the problem is really with yourself. It's not physically at your house, but it's there. A lot of problems are there. If you call them problems or worries, which are my worries, but yeah, still.
To come back to changing, we listened a lot to problems, and we were at Fridays for Future demos, for example, and my parents taught me a lot about the problems of climate change, and still we are here in Puerto Natales in South America. And how did we came here? We used the airplane, which is quite bad for the nature, and we know it. We listened, we understood, but we didn't change.
I don't think so. That's a different thing. It's a thing of, change. A change has to be able to change. You have to have some kind of, you have to be able to do it. A change costs a lot of strength. And the strength, you need to be able to change is not gonna come out of nowhere. In that way, it's not like I didn't try to change, or I'm not trying to change. I'm actually I criticize myself a lot over a day, over things I do, and I try to do better in a lot of ways. And when I lived in Berlin for a long time, I also thought about problems. A lot of, listened to problems. We went to Fridays for Future, and you can be in your home, think about all the problems, and if you don't have the strength to change, you're more or less gonna destroy yourself about getting depressed about all the things that are happening, and in a special kind of way don't be able to do something about it, like just sitting there and being powerless or getting overwhelmed by all those things. So in a way, I'm right now I'm traveling because, well, mentally it wasn't just just wasn't good with me in Berlin. So right now I'm traveling to be able to get the strength to really change my lifestyle, to change in a way that I think is better for the world, is better for the worries that I have, and also getting, in a way, getting less frustrated about things that worry me, and where I don't see changes.
Why is it you think you said specialists, a lot of specialists, a lot of people did research and have solutions? Why is it that we don't listen to them?
It's mainly the money, I think. It's like to change something which, if you want to build wind parks or wind turbine, like just things. If you want to build physically things that can change something about, for example, our energy crisis, then there are a lot of people who think about it like, you can use the tide in some way. In the Netherlands, there are like big turbines which you can put in the water, and just the tide is going to produce so much energy in these turbines that, I mean, it's really sustainable energy, you know. But it isn't built fast enough. There's not enough. We all together, not just our land or our politics, or I don't know. It's like we don't give enough money or enough effort to build these things. And well, it's not only about building things, obviously. Like, it's also about changing how we do some things, and that's a different kind of matter. I think it's more easy to say when or how I said it, like specialists doing research on certain topics, which you can change in a way of building new things. When you want to change the way people, I mean, I'm here in South America right now, and the way people eat here, the way people buy, or what kind of things people buy here, or it's just really different from Europe, from Berlin, but also in a kind of way not really different. I don't know how to tell it, because everywhere where I go, I see, like, I'm in these big malls, big malls full of stores, full of things that, well, it's my opinion, obviously, but full of things that don't really matter, or in that moment, just to make you a little bit more happy for, I don't know, a day or two.
Or not even for a day, just
or not even for a day. So we get distracted like the whole day for consumption. We literally are just living things, trying to consume more and more and more, and in that kind of way we get through our life till the end. Like, it's really sad right now, obviously, but that's, if you think about it, that's more or less how it is. And
what could we replace that with? That consumption. What should we do instead?
That's the thing about it. I think a lot of people think that there should be something else instead of consumption. But in a kind of way, we already have everything which make us happy without consuming anything. Like, we have ourselves, we have our thoughts, we have other humans with which we can talk to. And it's not about not consuming it all. Like, I think we need to consume, we need to eat. We also can sometimes buy stuff that makes us happy, but it's about the quantity we do it. Like, it's getting extreme, more extreme and extreme. It's like a TikTok. It's like from in the 1970s when it was still a film. Now it's just a TikTok where you're just going through and through and through. Every day
there's an infinite number of things you can watch.
Yeah, it's unlimited, and it's always a bit and more and more. And I think we should change that. I tried to change it myself.
Other things that people could do instead of consuming is, for example, or what I'm trying, or what we are also thinking about a lot, is feeling like connected with your surrounding, so with the things that surround you. For me, that's especially easy while in nature, so that I can walk through nature and that I can feel connected with the things around me. and then I become happy. I mean, it's all about happiness. It's all about doing things that make you happy, and
Make you feeling well, at least.
yeah, at least. And some things are probably easier, or they need less concentration. For example, like consuming a movie. A movie is like it's a very passive action you do. You just sit there and everything's coming into you, like Jannis just said. But when you try to concentrate on other things, for example, even your surrounding, you can also find like happiness in that. Or I mean, like one of the biggest questions between communism and capitalism is, why should the people in communism work? I mean, in capitalism it's easy, you can get your money, and therefore Belohnungseffekt. Yeah, it's like the reason to do things. I mean, and the question is, why should the people
get rewarded?
Yeah. Why should the people? How should the people get rewarded in communism? And the possibility is that you think that you do it for the humans, so that you feel like connection with the humans that surround you. I mean, while we are, for example, in this community room up there, mostly the people are blank to each other, more or less. Especially if you don't know each other. I mean, it's better in South America than it is in Europe. But even here, and what I believe is like, if you would cook together, like all the people who are on a campsite cook together and eat together 3 times a day, I think that would like make like a real bond between the people, and the people could feel connected with each other. And about connection, about your surrounding, I mean, in the streets or in the cities, I think it's pretty difficult at the most places to feel connected with your surrounding, because a lot of things, there's a lot of garbage, or the streets, I mean, they don't look clean or nice. And I think, yeah, so making your surroundings like more, so that you like them more attractive, probably could help.
That was a bit of my next question. What is that a problem that you observed at a more local scale, like either in your own town or here, traveling? Like a problem that you noticed, that you observed?
Yeah, I live in Berlin, so it's a pretty big town and big city, like a big city with a lot of problems. And a lot of times when we, for example, I think that's really, if you want to have an example for why there are so little changes, like you could begin by asking in Berlin, why is it so hard to build in a city bikeways, just bicycle ways for people to go by the bike, to go to work, to make the city more attractive by putting all the cars outside the city, putting more trees inside, more people would go with the bike. You know, there are really concepts which are really good about the way of traveling inside a city, which make it more attractive, a lot more attractive. You would like, not everybody, but a lot of people would like it like that more. But when you want to start just with one street, when you say, yeah, let's go, I'm trying to start an initiative to make the streets auto free, like car free. No cars in this street, and I don't know, in place of the street we're gonna put a big green middle thing, you know, and in the middle we put a bike thing for bikes to go by the bike, or for childs to play. You know, you have so much space which are just cars in the city, and then you want to start there, and you have to get a certain number of people to say, yeah, we want that, and that's not going to happen. There are not enough people who want it. So why don't the people want it? that's the next question.
I don't know. Maybe they're too busy watching TikTok.
Yeah,
example.
maybe that, or I think there are a lot of reasons for it. I mean, every when you talk to I talked to a guy with a motorcycle once. Like I went to a store to buy a ticket for a concert, and then I met this motor guy on the motor, and he was talking to the woman in front of the desk. Like he was shit talking about bicycle riders, that they're so, yeah, they're very chaotic and never see other cars coming, and you always have to see, and yeah, just bicycle riders are really bad. And I'm a bicycle rider in Berlin, so I felt like harassed in that moment. So I told him, but how would it be when there would be no cars inside Berlin? Like everybody's going by the bike, it's bicycle. Yeah, and then started the discussion, you know, and then he put up some arguments. I really can't recall them, but it really because I don't know. He was so hard. It was so hard to change his mind of what he thinks is good. It's the same with me, but like everybody, it's so hard to change a mind which is so focused on one opinion.
Which is already like finished in the progress of changing, of developing.
Yeah, and that's really just. I think that's the hardest part of it, actually.
People are very comfortable in the way they are.
Yeah, and if you want them to change, if you want them or to say, yeah, I want to change, I want the street to change, they have to be in a certain way. They have to, in a certain way, they have to think that, yeah, it's gonna be good. It can be good, you know, change can be good. But why would you say that when you can go still with your motorbike to your work, cruise through the streets of Berlin on your motorcycle without having to put some effort into biking, you know, which is really in some parts of Berlin still really, really ugly to bike. And if I'm honest, it's not nice, but there are also. When you go to the, I don't know, for maybe some from Berlin are watching this, but there's like a big park, Tiergarten, you know, and when you go from Mitte to Charlottenburg, like 2 districts.
You will have to send me how this is spelled for the subtitles.
Yeah, it's okay, I'm gonna do it. And yeah, there's like a huge park. Like there are 2 big streets which go like this, and then there's the Siegessäule, you know, the big with the angel on top, with the golden angel on top, like sightseeing. And then you have a big park, and you can go through the park on a bicycle, and it's really beautiful. And after you go out of the park, you feel better, you know. You just feel like I was in the nature, and this was nice. This was really good. And then. Why is it? Why do I have to come out of the park and think that? Why can't I just bike through the city and be connected to my nature? Feel good? I don't. If people feel good by biking because everywhere is a nice park where they can bike through, they won't. In the summer at least, they won't go with the car to work. I mean, and then it's who starts? Who starts by doing it? Who starts by going by the bike? There are a lot of people who started doing it more, and there is a progression.
There's a progress, yes.
There's a progress. I won't say that there's no progress. There's a lot of progress, a lot of people thinking in new ways, but it's really slow. It's still really slow, and there's a certain part of population which have a really hard to change opinion on things.
Are you guys happy in general or at the moment?
That's a very hard question.
Or if I can put it in another way, at the personal level, is there like a problem you'd like to share, and also share an idea of a solution for that kind of problem? It can be something very practical or something like anxiety or thinking too much about the world's problem, like you said.
At this moment, if I'm happy, it's a different kind it's a question which only applies to one feeling I can have. So I have a lot of feelings over a day. Sometimes I feel happy, sometimes I feel sad, sometimes I feel anger or annoyed. I don't know. In general, I think I'm grateful, or I'm satisfied in a way with the life I'm living right now, and that's what makes me in general a good feeling inside. So I get out of my bed, and I know things that I want to do. I have like a goal. I'm not like goalless and just
You have a purpose.
drifting through the time of my life, like not time of my life, but through my lifetime. Yeah, and in that way, I had a lot of problems with feeling exactly that. With feeling, I was really goalless when I was in Berlin. When I did my Abitur, the end of school, like I was in Germany in general, you have to study at least 12 years or 10 years, but you can do, to get to the university, you can do 12 years, and that's what I did. It's what most of the people did. So I went there, and when I was at school, Berlin can be really hard in the winter. It's just all gray, and you get like in a kind of depression state, and think a lot about yourself. Get really implode in a kind of way, and that's really what happened to me. So I imploded. It wasn't. I didn't feel well at all. Like I was depressive, and I thought a lot about. I was insecure. In a way. I was really insecure about what people think about me, what I do. I was scared. I was scared of new things, scared of just trying something and maybe it's gonna go wrong. Like that, those things, I didn't have any. I have a lot of doubts. I had a lot of doubts, and what I realized in the end, or right now while traveling, I really think a lot about myself and a lot about things I want to do. And what I realized is that when you search for things you want to do, search for things that really make you in a kind of way happy, and you do them, that gives you a lot of strength to try new things, to just go onto new grounds which you haven't experienced yet. So if I, for example, realize, I love music, I love making music, I love playing a guitar, for example. It's like a thing, like it's a state, it's something I can do, and for sure I will feel happy about it when I do it. Maybe sometimes I won't feel happy because I can't play it at the moment because I'm, I don't know, too tired or anything, but then I know it, and in a way I know a thing about myself. I know that I like music, and then I can go to for example, other people, and be more open, be more relaxed while talking to them, be more, in kind of way, just open, I think. And that's what I learned. I also learned that a lot of thinking about yourself can sometimes make you unhappy, because overthinking is not always good. You have to sometimes let go of some things that you stalled inside your mind. And just knowing yourself better. That's what I'm actually doing. I'm just trying to get to know myself, which is kind of funny to say, but I think it's what almost nobody really can. Almost nobody really knows himself, and really goes through the world and be one with themselves. It's like I think it's, yeah, I can go on, but I want to let you talk.
You took all the answers. There's nothing left. Or do you have like a trick or some things that make you happy that you can share with
Something that's
people?
helpful.
Yeah, something that cheers you up when you're in a bad mood.
Yeah, it's hard to say. Sometimes I think it's distraction cheers me up, but in the end I don't think distraction is helpful because it didn't help me. It helped me for some time probably, but I've always in the end, when the distraction was over, I felt something isn't right, and I feel like overwhelmed or sad. So tricks or things you could do. I mean, I'm 20. I really don't have the most insight, but what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to really feel myself, to really go into my emotions, and that when I'm feeling sad, I try to feel me and I try to understand why I'm sad. And before I do something, or while I do something, I always try to check with myself, am I happy with doing it and how I do it, and is this right for me? So yeah, I really try to focus. I think trying to focus on yourself and concentrating on your emotions can help you.
If there was one place or one song or whatever, one fruit, one recipe from your mother that you could save, that has to be saved for tomorrow, like one heritage for humanity or for the children of tomorrow, what would it be? It can be a monument, a place.
Can be anything.
Yeah.
It has to be a house on an island that is called Ameland. And that's a family house of my Dutch family. And this place is just, it's like a holy place for myself, because I experienced so much on that island and in that place, and it's just very cozy. And yeah, I wish that place could exist forever.
Yeah, I would choose nature, pure nature, because I think that's what the people of tomorrow will need probably, and what the people of today also need. So yes, connect the possibility of being connected with your surrounding.
And final question, if there was a worldwide, like a global citizenship, what would be one requirement to get the world passport?
Understand that every human has the same value and all the consequences that come from it. So, for example, that everything belongs to everyone, and it has more. It's not. Yeah, that's also the end of egoism, more or less. So understand that everyone has the same value and everyone has strong feelings.
I would have said that those people have to care for everybody, but in the end, that's the same what he would say. Like,
More or less.
I think it's just, yeah, care about your surroundings, care about other people as much as you care for yourself. Equality in a kind of way, respect, yeah, in that ways.
Thank you very much, guys.
No
Thank you so
problem.
much for sharing with us.
Thank you, too.
And also thanks for Ricardo for sharing his house, lending his home to us. It feels like humanity faces a lot of problems, a lot of challenges. Most of them we often create for ourselves. to fight against. But maybe as long as we care, as long as friends reunite to talk about these problems, to imagine solutions, maybe there's still hope for us.